Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. Today, after I clean up quite a bit, I'm going to get all of my lumber for the trim in the tiny house. I'm going to get it sorted and get it roughed in. Got quite the mess here. I'm going to be cleaning for a while, but by roughing in, what I mean is getting my parts, like say we have 2 pieces of casing right here. That is what the profile on the casing looks like. And the casing is going to come out of this stuff here. So what I'll do, like say for these 2 pieces of casing, I'll take my narrowest piece of stock that I could get casing out of and rip it to the correct width and then get my 2 lengths out of it. And I'll keep doing that until I have all of the parts that I need. I'll cut it right to width, and that's all on here. I think I have another one here. I will actually start with the door frame, which is this drawing right here. So I have 2 pieces of casing that are 72¼ inch long. I'll cut those a little bit longer than they need to be, and then I'll move on to the ones for the window. I actually won't start with the casing because our freeze board up here is a wider board, and even wider than that is the base molding, but the base molding are basically separate boards. I kind of have it separated out, but not really. This is thicker material. This is for the, what is that? I believe this is 1 1/16", and this is the wood for the windowsill right here. And where would that be? Right here. I believe that's what that is. And then we have thicker stuff yet, but I'm going to get that out of 2x4 material, and I'll use treated. And where is that? That's this right here, the plinths. I'll cut the plinth block out of treated lumber, get some nice clear treated stuff. I got all kinds of cutoffs laying around. So I'll be able to get that 1 3/8" out of there fairly easy. But right now what I want to do is get all of these parts rough cut and stacked up, and I'll be doing the back cuts on them and the corner cuts as soon as that's done. Hope that makes sense. Okay, the first thing I need to do is clear this place out. I'll go get this organized over that way. I'm working on this project at the same time. I've been doing just a little bit here and there because I've been sick on and off for the last couple weeks, so I haven't been able to get a whole lot done, but I'm feeling a whole lot better right now, so let's get some stuff done. We'll start with cleaning in this area. Okay, we got her clean enough to get some wood cut. So now what I got to do is start with the widest, longest board that I need and get that roughed out. That's going to be this one, obviously. And we are at almost 10 inches wide, and we need 7 1/4. So with what's left over, I can probably get this stop if I cut it on edge. I was wondering how I was going to get that, but I really shouldn't. I can get it right from this too, because the stop is 1 1/16, and I believe that's what the stool is. Yeah, we're at 1 1/16. So let's double check that. Yep, 1 1/16. So it'll probably be better to get it out of that, but we'll make all those decisions later. I don't know. Yeah, I believe I did mention that we're going to be getting this plinth out of treated wood, and I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be doing with the header cap. We're going to be running this. I looked at Menards. I don't have a lot of choices around here, and none of my machinery is set up. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do for the header cap. I might actually be able to buy that online. I don't know if I have the bits or not. I have bits all over the place. See, I got a box full of bits right here, and I have a whole bunch of bits over here. Nothing is really organized over here, and I don't have the tools set up. I know I had a big bit with, yeah, see, this is a similar profile. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It can be whatever I want it to be. What do we got here? We have an 1 1/16 of profile, which is this thickness right here, and this is 1 5/16, but it has that flat up here. Yeah, I could probably use this, but I would have to set up a temporary router table. Once I start working on this stuff, I want to go right through and get it all ready for paint, let Natalie paint it, and start installing this stuff. I need to get that barn area of the tiny house done as soon as possible so Natalie can move in there and have her studio there. All right, so with the base molding, what we have is a roughly 12-foot wall, then 2 4-foot, 2 4-foot, and 2 4-foot. We have a door here, and a baseboard heater right here. So these can either be 4-foot, 8-foot, or 12-foot sections. 2 12-foot would do it, 3 8-foot would do it, or 6 4-foot. And I believe these are either 8 or 9 feet. I believe all this stuff is 8 feet. So we'll just leave it at 8 feet and cut it to width. I got to get in and sand. This stuff is all ripped one edge. So you can see it's got one nice straight edge. You can see how wavy that edge is and how straight that edge is. I had to have that done for me at the sawmill at extra expense because I don't have my machine set up, which I'm going to be solving real soon. We're going to be getting those set up real quick out here, but they're not set up now. All right, so this is our first piece, then the rest of this base, and then we'll stop and take stock on the casing. This will be separate. All right, let me pull this out and we'll get this base cut up right away. sure my roller is set up correctly, and it's not. You want to go up to about here. And I want it a smidge lower than the table. That should do it. And then you can see if I got 12 feet to the door. Okay, out of these right here, we have some fairly gnarly wood at the end here. So what I'm gonna do, well, we got gnarly wood down here as well, and some real nice wood in the middle. So the next widest thing, we got 4 1/4 for the casing, but we have plenty of wood for that. What I think is that I'll cut these freeze boards. I should be able to get both of them out of one of these and avoid some of the nastier wood there. Yeah, that looks like a plan. All right, we'll cut the 2 freeze boards. They are 4 1/2 inches wide, and one of them, this one's 39, and this one is 30, I believe it's 36. I have it right here. Where is it? 36 1/4. So they're both roughly 40 inches. Should be able to get them both out of one board. All right, I have my board cut, and I actually went a little bit wider because this area right up here, this molding right here, the way things are measuring out, this molding, this cap molding, may come right to the ceiling, but if it's like 1/4 of an inch shy of doing that, I'm gonna wanna have this freeze board a little bit wider. So I left the rough board a little bit wider, and now what we're gonna do is just mark around these knots and figure out our 2 freeze boards. And I believe I'm gonna cut these to length right away. And that'll be it for those, I think. Yeah, they'll just need to be sanded and primed and painted. Those don't get a relief cut on the back. So let me get this marked out, and then we'll move on to the casing. Okay, so we have all of our base molding pieces cut and the 2 freezes, and I keep forgetting about this, but I'm gonna get this cut right away. This is 2 3/32 inch wide. These are the jam extensions. They go from right here back to the window. There is 3 pieces. I believe I have all of them in here. I might not though. No, I probably don't. But we have 1 piece that goes across the top. Yeah, that's this piece right here. 27 3/4, and the other 2 are 38. They come down and connect right to the sill. So we got 2 that come down, connect to the sill, and they have this half lap here, and then the top piece is mounted to that. That is what gets first attached to the window, and everything else gets attached to the face. But because this is nice and narrow, I'm going to take this cut off And that cutoff is wide enough way up into there. So I should, between these two pieces, be able to get all three of those pieces. And then from there, we will jump onto the casing. So let me get this cut up real quick and we'll move ahead with this. All right, I'm up to this sill board, and looking at this, if you look at it at an angle, the grain is coming up right here, but this is our ripped edge. So what I'm going to do is get this dimension right here. It kind of goes like that. It's a little bit wasteful, but it is what it is. I'll get this dimension right here, rip this whole board to this width, and then from this side, I'll rip my 4 3/8, which will get rid of this raised grain, or not raised grain, but it's grain coming up to the surface, and it'll be difficult to work with. So rip it to width, turn it around, rip it again, and then I'm going to cut this to length right away. That should be right in here somewhere. I can pick out the best stuff out of this, you know, cut it here and here, but I do need to get those stops out of this, and I don't want to waste wood. So what is this dimension down here? They're right at 7 inches, and it's about 7 1/4 up here, so we're not wasting all that much wood. So we'll get it at just under 7 inches, and then, like I said, go back and forth and get our piece cut out. I don't know if I'm going to cut, yeah, I'll probably cut this stuff right away. It'll be just a couple strips at 7/16, and those go at the top of the casing. One right here and one right here. I still need to get my base shoe, but the base shoe is very small. I don't know if I even have it on here, but it is on this one. It's a 1/2 inch by 3/4. So I can get shoe out of any of this. I need it fairly long. Yeah, my 12-footer, oh, I already cut that up. So I don't have anything long enough to do the whole 12-foot base, which is unfortunate. I should have kept a little strip of that for the shoe, but I didn't. And you'll never be able to see the splice. All right, let's get this sill done, and then I think I'll have to go find my plinth stuff, those 2 treated blocks for that, and then Yeah, there's not a whole lot after that. I don't think I have the apron yet. I'll get the apron cut. There's only one of those. And I do believe I'll be buying the Cove. But I'm going to see if I can get my router set up. I want it set up so it's really stable. I have a router base here that I use on my big router, but that drops down into a hole in a panel, and that panel is long gone. So I would have to mount that with clamps and stuff, or just screw right through this plastic. You kind of hate to mess it up, but I think I'll be making some new stuff as my shop progresses. I've used this for many, many years. Look at how beat up that is. Yeah, I can probably mount it right through these holes here and then just run sideways. Doesn't give me much of a table, but okay, let's get this cut. Okay, all of this stuff is my roughed in stuff, and this is what's left over. I knew I had a little too much wood here, but that's okay. I still have that board as well, but we'll be using that in other places in the tiny house and on projects out here as well. And I still have a few parts to get cut. I still have the apron, and I'm going to go look for some treated wood for these two. We'll get those two cut today. And these stops, what I'm going to have to do is sand the edge of this board right here and then rip the stop part out of it. I'll probably do that twice and have a little bit of extra. Then I got to sand the other side as well. It's unfortunate. I'd rather just put it through the jointer and get a real nice clean edge, but I don't have the machinery set up yet, and I don't want to go through all that right now. Okay, that is about it. We have, like I said before, we have the shoe molding, we have this cap molding, and this stop, and this cove. Again, I don't know if I'm going to make that or not. I should probably decide that stuff, but I don't think I'll be able to decide that today. For right now, let's go look for the throat plate. Where is that? I have my dado blade here, and I need to find the throat plate for that so we can cut the back relief on the base molding and the casing. And we'll look for an 1/8" roundover bit that we can do all these roundovers with. Most of the roundovers on the whole thing are 1/8", except for on the top of the plinth. Those are 3/32. So let's go look for all that stuff, and I will meet you right back here. Okay, I found my treated stuff. You could see the center of the tree was right here. This stuff right here is some really nice wood, but it kind of angles off that way, but it's going to be plenty fine. I need 2 8-inch chunks by 4 3/4. So I'm going to rip that at about 5 inches and then trim this other side to the 4 3/4. And then 2 pieces is only going to bring me up to here. Like I said, I'm going to cut 3 pieces out of this just to have a spare one on hand. And then when I'm done with this stuff, oh, this has to be resawn as well, because it's 1 3/8 thick, and this is 1.5 inches. I don't know exactly what the thickness is. Little less than 1.5 inches. So this will have to be resawn as well. So it's going to be kind of a little project. Let's get this done, and then we'll go look for that throat plate and some of this other stuff that we need. Got this set at 5 inches. Okay, before I cut this to length, I'll sand the sides and the back. My pieces are going to come out of the end over there, and I'll just cut around these knots. Should be able to get a piece here, and a piece down there. But like I said, I'm going to sand that first, and I'm going to sand that piece for the stops. So now, let me go find that other stuff. Hopefully, I can find that throat plate for the dado blade. Otherwise, I would have to order a new one. I can't really do without it. So let's go find that stuff. And again, I'll meet you back here. All right, I've been looking for the last 45 minutes for the throat plate for this, for the dado set, and I cannot find it. I may find it someday, but for now, I'm going to have to order one. And also, I do not have the 1/8 inch roundover bit. I checked it, and all of these roundovers are 1/8 inch, so I'm just going to buy a bit and do it right. And I could go out and start sanding this stuff, but it's just way too windy and cold out there. So I think I'm going to put this on hold for just a couple days, and I'll get back to you when we're sanding and routing this stuff. Okay, on second thought, I ordered the throat plate and I ordered the bit for this stuff. What I'm going to do is when that stuff comes in, I think the weather is probably going to be a little bit better. We have some nasty weather coming up. We got snow coming up and high winds. It's really windy out there right now. So during that time, I'm going to be working on mounting my dust collector, and that video will be on trapdoor. And we're just going to stop this video right here, and when we come back, we'll resume work on this stuff right where we left off. So if you want to see either one of those, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.